Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby bringing you an AMX 50 Foch review. This is the Tier 9 French tank destroyer, and boy is it a beast. I really love this tank. It's very strong at Tier 9 in the tech tree. It can take on Tier 10 tanks. It can totally decimate any tanks which are lower tier than it, which have a very small chance of being able to pen it. This is an absolute beast tank, and I think it could be one of the sweet spots for the French tank destroyer tree. So without further ado, let me try and show you why I think this tank is an absolute beast. So immediately, when we look at its armor stats, we can see that this tank has 180 millimeters of frontal armor. What this means is that really at range, anything that hits the front of the tank will bounce, unless they're aiming down on the lower plate with a high caliber gun. However, it does have its weak points. These viewports up here are very weak and they're easily able to be penetrated, and also this MG port is able to be penetrated as well. So be careful and be mindful that between your shots you should always try and wiggle so that you try and avoid the enemy shooting your weak points. Its side armor is trash, 50 millimeters, and its rear armor is trash, 50 millimeters. And if you look at it from above, you can see that it's a very juicy artillery target with very weak top armor as well. I have been nearly one hit in these tanks when you do take artillery fire, so be mindful to watch out from the sky bullets coming your way. You should never allow your side armor and your rear armor to be exposed if at all possible, and you should try and use your absolute meaty 180 millimeter armor from the front. This tank has standard hit points of 1,550, but this is a huge step up from the Tier 8. You may know the 1948, the Tier 8 French tank destroyer, has 1,000 hit points. So you've basically gone up by 30 millimeters of your frontal armor, and you've added an extra 50% to your hit points. So that means that you can take so much more punishment in this tank compared to the 1948. It's also got a lot more engine power, which means it's a lot faster, and its top speed limit is now 50 kilometers an hour. Its traverse speed is excellent, 28 degrees. That's really great for a tank destroyer. It's very hard to flank one of these, as with 28 degrees a second, generally they can keep in line with you and prevent you from flanking them. But if you can still get to the side of one of these and keep to the side of one, then that's obviously going to be an easy kill with the 50 millimeters of side armor. It has 120 millimeter with really good aim time compared to the 1948 of 2.3, great accuracy of 0.33. Alpha damage is 400, which is not the highest for a Tier 9 tank destroyer, but its excellent rate of fire of 6.45 means that it can keep putting out the punishment. Its penetration is 267 with regular ammo, which is more than enough to go through any tank in the game frontally. So now you know the basics of the Foch. It's an absolute beast. Let's take a look at some gameplay to showcase some of these strong points of this tank. So here we go. We're playing on airfield, and we're playing in our AMX 50 Foch. And you guys may see that we have a horror team. 33% chance to win. Oh my god, I knew I was in for trouble here. Especially after that. A Lurve just shoots me in the back at the start of the game. You know when you've got players like this guy on your team with 1,000 games played with 423 efficiency that you're definitely in for a winning game. I don't ever recommend shooting noobs like that back unless you're in a very bad mood, but remember that if you shoot them back, you're going to lose credits, you're going to lose experience, and you're also going to take them out of the game. Just be cool and remember that donkeys are donkeys, and just focusing on your game, guys. So we can see the vastly improved aim time on the Foch, but I'm just going to show you the weak point. There you go. Easy penetration. These are the weak points on the tank, as I highlighted earlier. This is where you need to hit the enemies. So we put 2 effective shots out on the Lurve. We rolled very high. We rolled for 495, followed by 494. That's nearly bingo rolls for this tank. This tank rolls between 300 and 500 damage with its 120 millimeter. One thing I will say is when you have such a donkey team, you cannot hold back too much. You cannot hold back too much. You have to put some aggression in. And we can see that the Lurve who shot me earlier was blocking me there as I was trying to pull back. So I'm getting quite frustrated at him. But you know, He might still have a use. He might still have a use. We've lost most of our health already due to the Lurve shooting us and people taking advantage of the weak points on the tank, which is here. So right now what I'm thinking, well, I think when I was actually playing this game, I was pretty tilt. I was thinking, okay, so this total scrub nub just shot me and then blocked me, so I got absolutely nailed. And you could see me there aiming at him thinking, shall I do it? Shall I do it? And I decide, no, no. Let's win this game, bros. Let's win this game. So we can see the IS-3 turns to shoot me, which was the right thing to do. However, I'm able to punish him. Unfortunately, we just take his tracks off. I was hoping he didn't have his repair pack anymore. He ignored shooting the 1390. I was hoping that 1390 would have been able to unload on him a little bit more, and that we would have nailed the IS-3 there. But well played to the IS-3 to stop shooting the AMX 1390 and try and take the Foch out, which he could have killed with one hit. However, it would have been completely RNG if he'd managed to penetrate the front of the Foch. He would have had to have hit the weak points, and with the accuracy on the IS-3 and the complete lack of aiming that that guy did, it would have been probably sent me full tilt. So we can see the rapid speed of the Foch has allowed us to sneak up on the T-54. The rate of fire is pretty good. You can see that we've reloaded another shell, able to take him down, and we're rolling good. Another very high roll of 479. I don't want to get shot in the side. I also know that there's still one AMX alive, and he's a fairly good player, so I need to be careful. Again, looking that I'm basically Moses on this team, and all the enemies are roughly, like, I would say good to average players, as well as having one strong T-52 player. I spent extra time aiming that one to make sure we confirm the kill on the Type 59. So I'm just trying to use my map awareness and looking for opportunities. Like this T-44 and this T-54 are an opportunity for me. Unless they aim well, they can't really take me out. And I see I've got his backside. So I'm just going to put some pressure up now. Take him out the game. We didn't quite manage to save our T-54 friend. So interestingly, that Lurve and the T-32 are still holding the south flank. Imagine if I'd TK'd that guy, then he probably wouldn't have been there, and they might have pushed through the south flank. So even though the guy is a power donkey, he managed to hold on to that flank for a little while. And it allowed us a little bit of time to work some of the other targets before we're about to try and finish the game in style. So, with such little health, I'm really thinking about what kind of an approach I want to take. I'm thinking that some of the enemy might be pushing around the south flank and going back into base. So I try and find a location to set up an ambush. So I try to set up an ambush here. Then I realize all of my donkey team are dying, running into a cluster. Look at them all in the same location. I thought they would get surrounded and we would lose the game. So I decide that I need to do something here and take the fight to the enemy before my meat shields die. You can see the Lurve is able to penetrate us. But we reload slightly quicker than him. He left us on 14 health. And the Lurve calls us a cheater. I might actually... Yeah, here we go. There's another Lurve. We managed to put one into him before he had the aim time to aim at our hatch again. And I just decide it's time to do this. And now this is a very interesting situation. He fires once. Fires twice. I'm counting his shells. 3 times. He's definitely using the 100mm and not the 120. 4 times. I know he's got 2 left. 5 times. And there's the 6th. He's now reloading. I just want to avoid fire from the Tiger 2. So I come round to finish off this 5120. And I've got the back of a Tiger 2 that I can see as stock. So I'm just trying to avoid the AMX fire here, but I need to keep my damage up. I want to keep damaging these tanks. And Shazam! We take out the Tiger 2 there. All of that with 14 health. That's not a bad effort to do 1,136 damage to an AMX 5120 and do 700 damage to a Tiger 2 and take out a Lurve in one hit. So that was our Top Gun. And that can show you the total troll nature of the armor on the 50 Foch if you don't give them time to aim at your weak points. So we can see there's a full health Tiger above us. I'm thinking that Panther 2 will be backing me up. And right now I'm trying to avoid the artillery. I did not think he was going to do this, and he did. Wow. Managed to nail me with a very large lack of gun depression while coming down the slope. That's pretty brutal. And I was quite disappointed. I was kind of on a streak and I thought I was immortal there. Well played to the Tiger to be aggressive. If he hadn't hit me on the way down, I would have killed him, for sure. I had a feeling that the AMX 50, that the AMX 13 F3 would have been north, because he hasn't been spotted yet. And now this is a very interesting end to the game. I'm just going to fast forward it a little bit. So this Panther 2 is doing the right thing. We can see he's using the 75mm on the Panther 2, so we can tell immediately that he doesn't have the best gun for the Panther 2. And he's going hunting for the artillery, which is the right thing to do. Wow, the artillery's firing AP shells. So there's the first AP shell that lands into the Panther 2 tracks. The Panther 2 does not have a repair crew, so A, that means he's a noob. You have to have repair crews. So he gets tracked now again by the Tiger that's behind him. And he doesn't seem to be interested in trying to aim for the Tiger. And he gets tracked again by the Tiger. The Tiger now stupidly announces that he's ammo racked. That is a terrible thing to do. Why would you want to tell your opponents that you're ammo racked? Wow. 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 Way! He finally gets the kill, but he allowed an AMX F3 to flank him, turn sideways, and put an AP shell through the side of his tank. Oh my god. Fantastic shot there by the SU-8. Landing a big shell on the Tiger, and this is a very tense situation now. I tell the Panther 2 that the Tiger is ammo racked, and what the Panther 2 is doing now is just unbelievable. What does he think he's doing? He's going to the rocks, because he obviously likes the rocks, and that's not a bad position to take. Going into the bushes, that's not bad either. We've got 3 minutes left. Going to speed the game up a little bit, see what he does. Now he gives the complete broadside of his tank there. That was really bad play. And the Tiger gets his ambush shot off, and it tracks him again. No kill. The Panther 2's missing his shells. It hits him this time, and the artillery hits him, leaving the Tiger on 12 health. The Panther keeps missing, and right now I'm freaking out because this is the most crazy ass game I've seen in ages. So much donkey play. He keeps missing, and he's just sitting there in the open. Not trying to hide his hull at all. Just sitting there. And BAM! The artillery makes the kill! For once, the artillery has done something useful and made me a very happy person. So let's just have a quick look at the after-game stats, guys. So here we can see the post-game stats that we got in our AMX 50 Foch in that rather hilarious game. We got 8,900 experience. I hasten to add for our 5 times. This was during the fantastic special that we just had. So that is just shy of 1,800 experience for a regular game. We managed to pick up a Top Gun and a Sniper medal. We hit 16 out of 16, as we can see here. And out of those 16 shells, 15 of them penetrated, giving us a potential of 4,903 damage done. And the potential damage we received was 4,730, taking 16 hits before we were taken out the game. What I will really hit home here, guys, is that how many of you might have turned around and killed that Lurve, let's be honest, or how many of you would have turned around and killed him when he blocked you and dropped you down to 25% of your health and you'd only done 1,000 damage in the game? How many of you might have gone tilt and just decided to go YOLO and rush in? Try and keep cool, you know? Don't go tilt. Even if you get shot by your own teammates, unless you think they're going to continue to shoot you. If he had shot me twice, I would have turned around and I would have killed him, because I would have felt that he would have killed me completely if he'd shot me twice. And I would have felt that, alright, I need to take him out the game because I'm more valuable than he is. So I would have turned around and I would have killed him. I don't recommend to turn around and blast enemies if they just shoot you once. I mean, idiots are idiots. And even though he TK'd me and he blocked me, he still had some value left in him. He was basically a meat shield that ended up doing 600 damage and slowed them down on one of the flanks, which allowed me time to go work, kill a few other important targets, and then come back and clean up the mess that he'd left. The Foch is a fantastic tank, and if it's got any health left, it's an absolute dangerous beast. It doesn't have the rear-mounted, I think, an anti-aircraft gun like the 1948 does. So if you wiggle with it, and go forwards and backwards, you've got a lot better chance to basically bounce than you did with the 1948. And you could see just with the kill streak that we went on at the end of the game, that even though we had very little health left, we were still very dangerous and we were able to do some serious punishment to the enemy tanks. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this game. If you've enjoyed it, think about rating it at the bottom, and rate it for me because I have shown ridiculous patience with that goddamn power scrub, who obviously has bought his premium tank with less than 1,000 games played. As always, you've been epic. I live stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays on twitch.tv/quickybaby, so think about coming and checking me out. Thanks a lot, guys, and hopefully I'll see you soon.